Okay, I'm doing it. I'm starting a channel. I don't know yet what's going to be on the channel. It's going to be a little awkward and weird and messy. And yeah, we're going to just do it together. So welcome. Here's my channel, Tales of Tiger Lily. Yay! Okay, some of you may have seen me on another channel called Grow Green Girl. I still own that channel. That is a brand I have had now for about 6 years, but I haven't really been active with it. And it's been a lot of personal stuff, just a lot of life change, a lot of evaluation on what I wanted to do, if anything, with my intuitive channeling and healing, and just a feeling of not knowing how to integrate it fully into, I don't know, my everyday life. I think this is the first time ever that I have felt like it's time. And I think many of us are feeling this urgency too, which is also why I felt like it was really critical for me to come on now and start now, not having separate channels for the woo-woo side of me, and then a channel for, say, other things that I really want to do with my life and share with people, like gaming, craft, and I don't know, you name it. We're going to see. Gardening. I love gardening, so we're probably going to do some of that stuff, especially as weather turns again next year. But the point being, I have been coming out of this long dream, it has felt like, of being almost asleep in this state where I had been under the illusion that I had to keep this side of me separate and secret from what I'm going to call the corporate side of me. That's the safe side. That's the things that you can tell people at a party where you don't know someone well and you don't want to scare them off. So it's oh, what do you do? I'm a writer. Cool. I don't often introduce myself and say oh, well, I'm a Reiki healer and intuitive channeler, because some people are oh, that's cool. And some people legit have told me it's satanic, and I never, I don't know, want to feel like I'm pushing beliefs on other people, but somehow just saying something that you do is very triggering for some, or it has been. And I have chosen to let other people's triggers keep me from speaking with an authentic voice in every facet of my being. So that is a big part of the impetus for starting this channel. The reason it is in this name, Tales of Tiger Lily, is also because Tiger Lily is a screen name that I have had since I was a teenager, back in the era of GeoCities, those of you who remember, and AIM and MySpace and that whole world. Although I don't remember if I ever had a MySpace, to be totally honest. I'm pretty sure my older sister did, but I think I just would build my own GeoCities pages. This is totally a tangent, but I would just make websites where I would write a story about fairies, for example, and then I knew how to color code it green, and then do image source, random picture of fairies from the internet. That was my life back in teenage years. So anyway, Tiger Lily for me has always been somehow a really core identity, but also, and I think, an identity that has embraced on some level the fun and magic of the world. And so that is the screen name I ended up using kind of across every gaming channel that I'm on. And by channel, I should say really gaming platform, PlayStation, Nintendo, and so on. So I've gotten to know a lot of people that way, and it's funny how a screen name does end up becoming a large part of your identity. So then it became sort of well, what if I make that the name of this channel too? Even though it is a name and I'm not giving my actual real life name in this channel, it feels like it's really me. So then it came back to okay, even though this is something I've been using largely in this digital space to connect with a lot of people, it feels like I'm representing myself. A few of them also know that I am a channeler, but I didn't also share that largely with the gaming community I was in. for various reasons. So now it just feels like a really potent time to kind of bring it all home. Like, okay, this is me. This is the fullness of me. I'm like one part woo-woo, I'm one part gamer. I'm all parts animal lover. You'll probably see cats wandering back and forth in this channel with me. And yeah, I'm just really excited to create this space where we can just have good vibes together. And I'm going to leave it open-ended. Like, I think right now what I want to do is, like, tonight, what we're going to get into in a few minutes is I'm going to bring forward channeled messages so I can speak clearly. That's what I'll do. And I will post those as often as I can. I've had a lot of them. I've just had a lot of like fear again around being seen, which we're going to talk about. And alongside that, really feeling the urgency and the nudge to get over that fear and stop giving a shit about it. And getting myself out of the headspace of it not being that big a deal. Or rather, it not being that big a deal to put yourself out there on the internet. So many people do it now. And yeah, there are trolls out there, but by and large, and this is what I see too, like people in the comments, we're looking for those who connect with us on a deeper level than we're experiencing often in the structures of day-to-day life. And so that drives me home to my true purpose in being on this digital stage with you guys, right? Is like to create that opening where we can express ourselves more authentically. Yep, thank you. And they're saying, and from source. So whatever that is for you, God, spirit, source, universe. Because the time is fast approaching when we're not going to be able to live in the shell much longer without it being founded by something, I heard the word grander, which is not the direction I thought we were going to go in, but yeah, grander. Yeah, I like that. Because it isn't just bigger, it's more majestic, it's more soulful, it's more, I'm hearing like royalty, like all of us stepping into our own inner and outer expression of divinity. And that royal inheritance, this is making me even like put my shoulders back and stand up straighter, or sit up straighter rather. But that royal inheritance from the universe of the divine gift we have of being here on this planet as conscious creators. So this is not the time to like binge watch Netflix every single day. If you want to do it once because, you know, like you're going to watch like all 3 Christmas Prince movies, like no shame, no judgment. I've done it. But, you know, don't do it every single day. I have been procrastinating myself on doing this, and in part it's because I was tired, and in part is because I had fear around it. But then I had to bring myself back to my center and be like, okay, well, why are you treating this like a chore? Like, no one's holding a gun to your head and saying you have to do this channel. Like, you want to do it. Why do you want to do it? And then it was like, oh yeah, I want to do it because I think it would be joyful, and because I have something I want to share, and I want to create this space and this resonance. And if I, you know, reach one person who needs to hear this message, then that's the job I needed to do. It's not about like millions and millions of followers. Some of my favorite readers and channels like might have 27 views on a particular video. And some of my other favorites might have thousands, but the value of what each offered is equally dear to my heart. And I know like that reader with the 27 views almost sometimes feels like more special. Like I am one of a little group who they were speaking to directly, and I could feel that truth. And knowing that was like carrying this little flame in my heart. And it made it really special for me. It really made me appreciate what the beauty of this age is and these tools that we have that, yes, are also prone to corruption. And, sometimes it seems hard to navigate this world without being part of some system that we don't like. But it's like, don't forget, like the power is in the people. We are the tools. We are the resonators that are making these. We're like the fuel. We're making these tools work. So how do we want to make them work for each other? If we can use them to connect with each other, uplift each other, help each other integrate both light and shadow into ourselves, without denying the fullness of our experience, even if it's negative. We're doing the work to prepare ourselves to be living in a very different kind of future. And inherently, that future is inevitable because we are ourselves creating every moment of reality. So if we're different, of course the future is going to be different. If we are acting from our highest place of infinite continuous potential, as we always are when we're living in the present moment and acting from the present moment, then it is impossible that we should be living in a reality that is anything but more prosperous, more uplifting, more bountiful, beautiful, radiant than it ever has been. Which is in great part why it's so important to not be living in the stories of the past. If you have been wanting to do, say, like a channel like this, or if you've been wanting to write a book, or if you've wanted to run a marathon and you have the story in your head, like, well, it didn't work in the past, like you need to shut that shit down because it's not relevant anymore. You are creating from a new moment. So you are approaching that goal now as literally a different human being than the human being that approached that goal in the past. And this isn't a shame on that previous person that you were, because that previous person got you to this moment. So you can love them and thank them for that. But it's loving that paradox of something that's continually dying and being reborn and shifting and transmuting, so that you're really loving I'll say the words that come to me are the essence of the will more than anything else. It's not the concrete ego identity that you were or even think you are now, but that continued relentless, in the best way, refusal to not enact your own will. I feel like that started so strong and then it ended really like awkwardly, but I think you know where I'm going. So yeah, this is a really potent time. And I am hearing that you will really be grateful to yourself if you take the time between now and the winter solstice, which is, I think, December 21st this year, to set in motion foundational points for the future that you want to build. This is what I'm hearing. The importance of the solstice is meaningful and arbitrary at the same time. As you're aware, I'm sure, the solstice is in the winter in the northern hemisphere. It's the shortest day and the longest night. In the southern hemisphere, I think they sometimes call it the summer solstice. I don't actually remember, but I know it's the opposite, right? It's the longest day and the shortest night, just as we have in June. But these are activation point opportunities when we are aligning with sort of like the Earth's reset moment. And this, yeah, okay, yeah, it sounds a little woo-woo. I don't know. It feels right to me. If it feels right to you, go for it. If it doesn't, take what resonates. No pressure. But I feel we are human beings. We're live creatures that are infinitely connected to the grid of the earth in ways we don't really consciously appreciate all the time. I mean, like, even way the tides turn and women's menstrual cycles, like, often can be measured by the phases of the moon. I mean, there's all these ways that we're just, our animal part of ourselves, I think, is really beneficial or benefits from connecting with the patterns of the earth. It feels good at some level to just be connecting to that rhythm. And I would venture to say at a soul level, because I do believe that the earth has a soul and that she has a purpose and a journey that she's on too, and she's going through her own evolution right now. And she's so loving and so giving that despite all the shit that we have done to her, she's always offering us endless ways to heal the pain, to undo the damage. I mean, I love hearing stories of like kids who are doing science fair experiments where they're figuring out, like, there's one kid who figured out like a microbe that can eat plastic or something. It's like, holy shit, like the solutions are always there if we allow the spirit of the universe to speak to us and through us. So yeah, they're going to be rambling a lot if you haven't noticed. I'm a very rambly channeler, but this is how it comes to me. It's like sometimes my guides come in and they have whole phrases they want me to say, and sometimes I just have like an emotion that comes up and I'm just going to like talk through it using my own voice. So I kind of let it go organically. But I did pull a few cards before I got started, and so I'm going to show these to you, and I'm going to pull a few more. But when I was meditating ahead of this is kind of what I was like, what stage are we in right now? And I love this. It's kind of like I was just talking about with the winter solstice, paint the sun back into your sky. Literally, after the 21st in the summer, I know the northern hemisphere, if you're watching this, the sun will start to seem as if it is returning. Can you imagine what it would have been like thousands and thousands of years ago to not have had the knowledge yet of understanding why it seemed like the sun was going to disappear? And like, goddamn, it must have been really scary to think that it might not come back, and then truly to behold the wonder of that mysterious return after the solstice. I just stuff like that. It's just like, it just makes you appreciate like what a gift it is to be on this spinning globe. I don't know, guys, that's how I feel. But my cat's sneezing. I'm always a little watchful. I think she's okay. So the next one I had gotten here is Spaceship. Isn't that cute? What does it say? Don't be afraid to sing. Yes. Okay. I think that gets back to the self-expression we were talking about. This is the time to use your voice, whether it is on something like this, speaking with more authenticity at work, with friends, family. It might be a time when you are expressing more needs for self-care, or it's so many little things. So like here's like a little thing. When I think of singing, it's expressions of creativity. So like back in August, I got my nose pierced. This was a big deal for me because, like, in my family, it's just not something we do. I'm so sorry if you're hearing the cat in the background. But so like this little expression of creativity here, it seems so minor, but it was so meaningful for me. And shout out to, I won't name people on the internet, they don't want to be named, but a friend of mine I work with who like gave me the courage and told me to go for it. And I was like, I don't know, I'm scared of needles. And she was like, just do it. It's not that bad. So I went ahead and did, and I'm so glad that I did. Because it made me feel like I almost got back a part of my body that where I felt like I was living more fully in the expression of myself. And even if it is, like an ego identity, like I think that's okay. I don't think like we're going to be getting rid of that as long as we have bodies. So I don't think it's about that. I think it is getting more fluid with our ideas of who we are and our egos. And by ego, I don't mean like vanity. I mean like, who am I? I'm a woman. I'm 40. I am a writer. I'm a singer. I'm a channeler. I'm a sister, and so on. These things that we have been given so many ideas over a lifetime of how they define us. And some of them are, roles that we are happy to play. And some of them are roles that we may have felt were forced on us or we took out of obligation. And what I find exciting about this time is it almost feels like being a bit of a blob. Like I imagine myself, maybe it's me picturing myself as the soul body without the constrictions of the physical third dimensional body. But it almost feels like a paper doll dress up with my blob. Like, what do I want to wear today? What identity do I want to put on today? How do I want to take this blob, this glowing orb of self, and play with it? Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I feel like we are. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah. Okay, this feels good. This is what I feel like we're really being urged to move towards. I hear now they're speaking out. Now they're like, yeah, this is what we've been telling you, to stop taking everything so seriously. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, it's time to play more. It's time to have fun. And it's, especially if you've got any fears around creating space for yourself to play. If you have like, oh, I've got to be responsible. Oh, I've got to make sure I'm being productive. If I'm not being productive, I don't have value. That's just like capitalist shit. We were just like all ingrained at the time of birth. Don't you hate when people are like, my children don't pay rent? And you're like, I know you're kidding, but part of me feels like you're not kidding. And like, how horrible is it that like, we feel like we have to be producing cash flow to be valuable in a society? That's going to be, that's going to be a whole other video we get into. We won't get into that now. Back to playing. The beautiful secret to playing is that it's going to create the best and most vibrant forms of abundance for you, which will include inevitably cash flow, but it won't be the primary goal of that. And it's not like a sneaky like back door to cash. It's just like, look, when you focus so much on like productivity, on getting that dollar, on checking that box, on sort of these tangible measures of your value, you're really, limiting your value because you're putting a box around it. And what if there's something so great for you that you can't even conceive of with your, limited human mind, that you're blocking the flow of it to you because you're holding like the reins so tight over what you want. And two, like, it's sad that you, an infinite, beautiful soul whose soul is containing and part of it like this human body, which is a beautiful, wonderful experience that we're part of on this planet, but isn't the entirety of you. It's not a good feeling to think that you have reduced your worth and dignity as a individual soul to what you can put an economic stamp on. And that, I think, is subconsciously why like 90% of us as adults don't give ourselves like the space to play. And play can be anything where you are in a mindset of curious, exploratory inquisition. When you are creating from a space of wonder, from joy, from curiosity, like, what if I did this? I wonder what would happen. That is the energy of relief from the burden of having to be productive all the time. That's the kind of playing that it would most benefit you right now to give yourself the space to engage in. So it can include something like gaming, for example, which I love. But here's like an example where, it's really about the feeling and not necessarily the act, right? Like I love gaming, even to the point where it can be like addictive for me. But if I'm sitting in that chair for like 3 hours and my back's starting to hurt and I'm not like physically feeling good, I'm probably hungry, maybe like getting a little bit like tired or feeling tedious with like doing all the little like random fetch side quests, like you know how that goes if you game. But like, if I move from the fun and playfulness and wonder of being in the game and wondering like what's around that corner, and being like, gosh, this really reminds me of like, let me take notes on something I want to write down for like a story I'm writing, and if it goes from being this exploratory space to being almost like taxing, then it's like time to take a break, time to go do a different activity, time to get up, stretch your legs, time to go do some dishes, time to take a walk, time to pet the cat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's the being in the energy and the frequency of that exploratory joy. That's what you want to be in. But when something becomes not that, then like, what's the point of it? It's lost its value as play. So that's just something I want to encourage you to think of. Here's a great example of where a cat just wants you to do a different activity. So maybe this is a good moment. I'll say good night since I know we're getting close to 30 minutes here. If you are still here at the end of this video, thank you so much for joining me for my first video on my new, reformed, revised, revamped, reblessed channel. And we will take it from here. Yeah, we'll see what we do next. I'm hoping to get a PlayStation camera in the mail in a few days, and that'll be really fun because I have always wanted to stream and I don't have a PC yet. I don't have a PC yet, but I do have a PlayStation. I got a Switch. PlayStation looks like you can directly stream to YouTube, so I'm pretty pumped about that because I want to start doing some live streams and just see what you guys like. And yeah, it's gonna be really fun. So we'll see. Good night. Good night. Oh my god. Okay, now I try to reach for this.